Well, the last 6 sides of our mid-season review coming right up. Damo, we've got North Melbourne first.
Yeah, we're taking a stock exchange style of look at each team having the bye in the 3 weeks. This is the third of the 3 weeks of bye action. North Melbourne, Brownie, and I'll hit this to you, Kane, has had a disastrous start to 2022, coming off a disastrous 2021.
Yeah, usually we buy something positive that's happened at the club. I couldn't find one, so I wanted them to go and buy Mark Williams, come in, be a mentor for Jason.
You're big on that,
Francis.
aren't you?
Yeah, I think the work that he did with Dustin Martin at Richmond was significant, and Horn Francis needs some help there. I'll get up the other graphic there. We've just lost it there, but in terms of what they need to trade in, it's the shin bone of spirit, really, because, I mean, what is it? What's the shin bone of spirit now when you lose 7 games by 45 points plus? Like that, don't tell me there's any shin bone of spirit left. And then sell the players that they've traded in. We've mentioned that a lot, but you know, from Aiden Core to Greenwood to Bosnalagi to Callum Coleman-Jones, all haven't worked.
And Brownie, you always like to throw a song into the overall adjudications here. So
There's a band called UFO, and they had a song called Rock Bottom, and that's where the Kangaroos are.
One of your favourites?
I hope your music tastes...
Never heard it before. Never heard it before. Never heard it
I hope it
before.
improves from here, Brownie, with the music. But I'll go back to you now with the Hawks. They've taken a 4-9 scoreline into their part of the bye.
Yeah, I think
you're
that
loving
4-9 scoreline's a little bit better than what I thought. They're playing better than that. I think Sicily is captain, so that's what I'm buying. And I'm going to settle the James Worpel argument because I think they can trade him out for something. And I'm going to sell the inconsistency because we see Hawthorn 1 week and they're brilliant. You can't stop them. They beat the Brisbane Lions, played a great game. The next week against Gold Coast, they didn't turn up. That's what a young side will do. That's what Sam Mitchell has to try and come to terms with. How do they get more consistent? But I think they're on the way up, the Hawks. And the song I've got is from Ariana Grande, Thank You Next, because I think the next is coming. I might point out with these songs, Damo, that our producer Luca chooses these songs.
Own it, mate. You've got to own this stuff.
That's another song I've never heard, ever.
Don't start doing Luke Paul on us now, Brad. You've got to own what you present. Lloyd, own this. Brisbane Lions 10-3. It couldn't have gone much better for them to this point.
It's interesting that they're on top of the ladder. I'm still not 100% sold whether they are the real deal yet. But I'm buying. No, I'm not. I just think their midfield often, I'm not sure they're big and strong enough to handle the best midfields, and often they can be scored against too easily. But I'm buying Cameron Rayner because I think he's just getting better and better as a footballer. His body shape's leaner, and I think he's going to have a huge back half to the second. Great second half of the season. I'm trading the Danaher alliance. I think without him, they're in trouble. Hipwood needs to lift. Now he's been back for a number of weeks, BJ, and selling goal kicking accuracy. They still hurt themselves with their goal kicking and lose some big games.
Well, that's the first 3. The Pies, the Dockers and the D's are up next. And following that, we'll go to West Coast up against Geelong from Perth. This is the Sunday Footy Show.
Bit of John Denver and Country Road there as we welcome you back to the Sunday Footy Show, where we're continuing our look at the club's stock exchange style. Brownie, you were meant to throw to that song to illustrate the Brisbane Lions season.
I missed the demo, and that's why we're such a good team, because you picked it up out of the break, and I thought you might have done a little jig to that.
No, I don't dance.
That's the song that Charlie Cameron kicks his goals to, so we need a big second half of the year to Charlie Cameron. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what you're saying with the song. Collingwood's up next, and you have been asked and tasked with that assessment.
Yeah, I'm buying Craig McRae. He's been brilliant, Craig McRae. I love the game plan. I love what they're buying into. Now, I know Mason Cox had a great game last week, but I still think they can get some value for Mason Cox. I think Mason Cox can play AFL football, and I think that Collingwood might get something for him. This is his best game for a while, but that doesn't mean you can't look to improve your list on the back of that. And I want to
trade him after he's had his crowning moment for 4 years.
He's got value.
Absolutely. I think he's got value while he has. And sell the talk of trading Grundy. Now, if Brody Grundy gets his body right again, at one point he was up there with Max Gawn as the best player in the competition. Yes, he's had a down probably 2 years of football, but I still think he can bounce back. I know it's a big, long 7-year term, but I'm going to sell the idea that they're going to trade out Brody Grundy. I'd rather trade Mason Cox than Grundy.
Yeah, don't forget the song this time. So for the Collingwood,
yep, very good. So the Pies, they are moving on up. It's a group called Banger.
Back to you, Kane, for a look at the Fremantle team, which has got itself to 10-3.
Coach of the Year, Justin Longmuir, but I'm buying the midfield because they are the highest scoring midfield from stoppages in the last month. Sean Darcy, Will Brodie, Brayshaw, Sarong, Akers to a lesser extent. I know he's injured now, and Aish are just a good unit, and now Fife comes in, so what a bonus for them. Rory Lobb, if he doesn't want to be there, then trade him. That was the talk last year, so I think his form's been...
Is it fair to say he's probably putting together his best season of football?
His form's been solid, but because I expect he will want to go. So you want to absolutely maximise the trade that you can get, and to do that, I think you need to target a like-for-like replacement for him. So fine one, Jai Miss was a player they picked, but they're tall forwards. There's not a lot there, Matt Taberner or bust, really.
What was his reason for wanting to go last year?
It was personal reasons for the talk around it potentially happening, yeah.
Now, what I've been able to do is put a song in here that really fits. So Tame Impala are the #1 ticket holder of the Fremantle Football Club, and they sing a song called It Might Be Time. So it might be time for Fremantle to win their first premiership.
Good band, Brownie.
Not bad.
Yep. And speaking of time, it was time for Melbourne last year. And Lloydie, where have you got them in your assessments at this stage of the defence?
I think there's still a chance, but obviously they've got some big issues with Max Gawn out for a period. But I'm buying their midfield. I think Jackson can be okay, but I still love Viney, Petrarca, Oliver. I still think they're as hungry as ever, Harms, Langdon. So I think that's intact to have them win plenty of games. I'm trading complacency. So when you're drinking at restaurants and carrying on, I reckon maybe it's the wake-up call that they needed. And I'm selling Ben Brown's last month. No Tom McDonald. He's dropping marks. He's running under the ball. He's got a golden opportunity to lead this forward line, which he hasn't the last month.
Well, they've had a good run, the Demons, but it has been the best opening weekend snow depth in Buller's history. So let it snow from Dean Martin.
Let it snow, let
Frank
it snow,
Sinatra.
Who's Dean Martin?
Dean Martin. He's another singer, Lordo, in that same genre. When I went into my Apple Music before, it was Dean Martin, but many people have sang that song. Michael Bublé has sang it. Even Boys to Men. You would have been a fan of Boys to Men, came back in the day.